Hello everyone, Pockets here, back again playing some more EVE Online. Once again back on Tranquility, taking a break from the Abyssal Dead Space sites, even though they're a lot of fun. We will get back to those, probably more once they're live. I might do a few more before then on camera. But I wanted to get back here and run the Capsuleer Day Event, the Conscious Interruption. So the story, as I understand it, is the Society of Conscious Thought wants to give all of us Capsuleer people nice shiny golden battleships for the 15th anniversary. For some reason, the jackass drifters just don't want us to have them, and so we have to go rescue the supply sites from drifter attack. Pretty hard sites. I know a lot of people are struggling to get the cruiser down. I have found a fit that works for me. You may have seen it there in the background. We'll talk about that in a second, but here is the site. From the time I recorded this, it is 10 more days, so it's downtime on Tuesday, well, my Tuesday morning, so downtime next week. You get points for bounties, so 500,000 ISK worth of bounties, and knocking out enemies, so 10 for the level 1. The bounties count even if you're not doing these sites, so if you're just doing regular ratting or missions, you still get credit for this one, which is nice for those who might struggle, the smaller skill point pool of people. And knocking out the sleepers is a little bit harder to do, and we'll show you that in just a minute. I did try the site in my Gila, and while it was doable, it wasn't exactly fun and easy. The cruiser travels at 1,700 meters per second and orbits at like 30 kilometers, 34, so my missiles just reached, but I couldn't, it took over 5 minutes to break them. And since I did that, I think they've also added that the cruiser warps away if you don't kill it fast enough, unless you can web it down, which is great. I really like that. Or not web, but scram it down. But I fit up an Ashimmu, as you saw, and we'll go through that in a minute. I'm not actually myself personally too keen on most of these prizes. Fireworks are great. I have them. They're back home in Juns. This crate, in typical fashion, just drops one of these, and you can actually find these from the site itself, so I'm not too excited about that. The 800 point, though, is an advanced X-Sense Conscious Accelerator. It gives the 12 points, which is great. I do currently have an improved active, which gives 10 points. And then there's also a basic one, which gives 6, which I do have a couple of those at home as well, though I don't find an advanced or an improved before I get there, before the end of this 15 hours. So, oh, and the last one I meant to show. The last thing is one I would be interested in getting, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time to get 1,200 points in 10 days. You know, busy. But it does give some Genolution. So you got a Genolution industrial upgrade. I don't even know what this does, but it's cool. I imagine it'll be valuable, because you're not going to get many, because it gets one of, or does it give all? Let's see. Randomly gains one of the following. So that, and then there's a couple implants that you can get. There's the CA2, which is what? Cap recharge time reduction, which is nice. And intelligence modifier. What's the other one? We got a velocity modifier, which should be nice right now to get a little bit faster. Shield capacity bonus. And willpower. So these are +3 mods. Armor hit points. Inertial modifier. Yeah, so pretty cool little deals. I doubt I'm going to get there. What I'm really focusing on are the skins. I do have 5 of the skins already. Maybe 6. Let's take a look. I have 5. I have 3 of the Galente ones. And 2 of the Minmatar ones. I have none of the Amar ones, which is ironic because I think they look best on the Amar ships myself. And let's take a look at one on... Let's just look on the Drake. It's got lots of smooth surfaces. We can really get a look at these skins on here. There we go. So you can see they're black and white and blue. It's black and white and blue on all of them. Although the blue, yeah, looks like that. Though they do change the angle of it, so you can see on this the back is black. Some of the ships it's flipped over. Sometimes they're mirrored into like a V across the top. Pretty cool stuff. So that's what I'm after. So I'm hunting the cruisers. Now I have been told they do drop from the frigates as well. So I kill as many frigates as I can as we go. But let's get in and let's find a site and let's get out here and we'll show you this fit while we're on tether, just because I like being out of the station. Alright, so we're stopping. Here's my Ashimmu. I've always wanted a reason to fly one, so when I found something that required webs, and newts that I felt required webs and newts. I was pretty excited. Outside of PvP, these aren't great in PvE in general, but let's talk about that as we go here. So in the high slots, we have 3x Tech 2 heavy pulse lasers, fitting Conflagration. If you have to fit meta, the antimatters work fine. It just takes you a little longer to kill the last guy, but it should break him. 2 Tech 2 medium energy Nosferatus. Use these on the main guy first to drain him out, because once you get within sort of range with when you get within 10 kilometers, which is optimal for your conflag, he does scram you and he does do a lot of DPS. So I newt him out, and then once he's neuted out, I flip one of them over and start newting frigates to keep my cap up. Dual T2 webs. My Mimitar skill bonuses aren't great, so I only get 16 kilometer range. With better skills, I imagine if I did it at 5, you can get like 20, maybe even a little more. But 16 works if I'm quick. I do have a Shadow Serpentis 50 meganewton afterburner. You don't need the Shadow Serpentis one. If you're not going to catch them off the get-go, even with it, you're going to overheat anyway. So just a Tech 2 or a meta would work. I just had this laying around, so I threw it on. So you can make the fit a fair bit cheaper. I do have also a Republic Fleet large cap battery, which I also just had laying around in the market in Dodixie. So I threw it on here. I believe it works just fine with a meta fit. I know Gentleman Gamer put up an Ashimmu fit as well, and he used a meta fit and I think a T2. So it is doable. Your newts do make up a fair bit of capacitor if you do it right. So meta down the T2 if you want to save a bit of ISK. 2 true Sansha adaptive nanoplatings. Once again, I just had them. I was playing around with some other fits, and these are stuff I stripped off of it, and they just happened to be working for this. Once again, meta this down if you want. T2 if you can. You may want to put a reactive hardener on here. It does put a little more strain on your capacitor, but give or take. Because it's drifters, they do seem to oscillate through different damage types a little bit. So that might be something to think about as well, but this works for me. Centum C-type medium armor repper. I'd recommend not cutting any more corners. This is like the cheaper of the Dead Space medium armor reppers, or one of the cheaper ones. I think it's in the 60 to 70 mil. Highly recommended if you can afford it. They're just so much better than the Tech 2s as far as fitting, as far as cap use. They're better, in my opinion. Worth it. Damage control 2, pretty standard. Little extra tank, and then 2 heatsink 2s. I was toying with the idea of pulling this out and putting 3 of these, but I do take enough damage sometimes, and I believe this is saving my bacon more than once. In the rigs, I do have this one, medium polycarbon engine housing 2. I'm probably going to swap this out. My idea with this was to try to get my base speed up to 340. Well, I didn't know it was 340 at the time, to get it up enough that I could keep up with the cruiser without a prop, but it's just not fast enough. You need to do, he does 340, so it's just not going to cut it. So I might flop this out for a damage mod or something else that'll fit in here. We'll see. And 2 semiconductor memory cells. Depending on what I switch this to, or even if I leave it out, I could up these to a Tech 2, but again, my cap is fine, so I don't need it with this setup. And that's it. And then for my drones, I just have a bunch of warriors, warrior 2s. And what I do is I get on the site, I launch the warriors, they go after the frigates to kill a few extra things while I take out the main guy. If my damage starts getting a little scary, I'll switch them over to the main guy and kill him faster, but hasn't been necessary yet. I am packing the full range of ammo as far as what I usually carry, so I usually carry Conflag and Scorch with my Tech 2 pulse lasers. I have Imperial Navy, Standard Navy, Imperial Radio, and Standard Radio. I might swap these out for Standard, though to be honest, in this site, Multifrequency is probably just fine. So I'm just kind of burning these out again. I had them, so I'm using them. Stuff I had laying around for when I was playing with my Stratios fit. But let's get to it. I'm going to find us a site. Looks like there's one here. Maybe it'll be empty. So the trick is, warp to the site, click on the cruiser, align to him as quick as you can. As soon as you start aligning, activate the Microwarpdrive, lock, activate webs. And you have to do it quick. If you miss it, or if I miss it, I have to overheat to catch him again. And I usually get to about 50% on some of my modules if I have to overheat to catch him, so it will slow down how fast you can do sites. Alright, nobody's here, so I'm going to click him. Q. Click on him with Q held. As soon as it catches, activate. No, it didn't do it. Activate, I said. Damn it. So I'm going to have to chase him. He's already out of range, so as soon as we have him locked, I'm going to overheat. Why did that not activate? Alt F1 did not do it. Okay, well, that's fine. You get to see me fail. That's fine. We're going to go up and catch him. So as soon as you get within 20, this will grab. We'll turn it on. Hopefully we don't take too much overheat damage here. As soon as we're in 20, we'll grab him. Once we're in 16, we can turn off the overheat. So you can see I'm doing 2,500. He's doing 18. So you got to go fast. Wow, we're going to actually get into armor before we catch him this time. Grab him. He is now webbed. And at 16, we will turn this off. There, turn it off. And we'll turn this off. And we'll turn this on. And this on and this on. All right, so we've caught him. Now he drops down to 300 and some once he gets fully slowed down here. Just, there we go. Just spin around. I got a little too fast. Ran into him. So you can see I nearly burned this thing out. 94% damage. That's not good. So that would have been terabad times. Now we're here. We're getting webbed or scrammed. So we just let the newts do their work. Let's turn our repper on because we'll probably hit armor before it gets to the end of the cycle. And let's start targeting some drones. And we'll get our warriors out now that we're settled into our groove here. So now what I do is I newt them out so that the scram drops. And then once my newts hit bottom, once we've capped them out, I switch my F4 newt to a frigate just to keep our capacitor as high as we can. You don't necessarily have to do that. I didn't really lose. I killed them before my cap ran out without it, but I like webbing them. I like scramming them down. It gives me something to do now that we're just chasing them. The other thing, as soon as we drop to about 7.7, so just outside our optimal, I pulse my Microwarpdrive, which is especially useful because it's not burned out. And are we hitting zeros? Let's just watch. Yep, zero, so turn it off. We'll grab this guy. Just let the drones do their thing. And we'll switch our newt over to this guy. On, I said. Thank you. And there's 7, so let's give it a second. So yeah, Alt F1 didn't work, and my align pulsing didn't work. That happens sometimes. Just wasn't quick enough. There we go. 1 pulse. And you'll see we'll catch up. We probably ram into him, even at this. But if in this case it just bumps him forward, he doesn't turn around on us again. If you go too fast, he turns around, and then you have to realign, and it's a big mess. So yeah, we're right on his tail as we slow down. There we go. And we watch. Are we newting this guy out? We are. So we're going to switch off him since he's out of range anyway, and we're going to switch it on to him. Drones are okay. They're doing their business. Hopefully getting us some dank kills out there. And we'll just keep on him. As you can see, he's already almost dead. This doesn't take too long. When I did it in my Gila, I ran for like 5.5, 6 minutes and almost had him dead, but I got bored. So I was just chasing him. He orbits at 30 kilometers and can maintain 1,700 meters per second at a 30-kilometer orbit. So it makes it really hard for your drones to keep up and hit him. Missiles, I was shooting missiles at him nonstop, and they were half the time just fizzling out because he was traveling outside their range. It was crazy. It's been a lot of fun figuring this out. Here we go. So I just want to drop it, show you what drops from the stuff I did kill. There goes my drones. Okay, are we capped? Oh, this guy went out of range. We're going to go ahead and start capping this guy then. And yeah, he's going down. We'll probably actually get him. We might get him before we get back to having to pulse our Microwarpdrive again, which is nice. Let's put our drones here so we can watch them. And we look here. That is... So we're still getting 13 off him. That's great. We'll wait till that gets down to like 1 or 2, and then we'll switch it to another guy. You can see my armor paying that extra for the good repper. Watch. Gets to me about here, and then it comes almost all the way back. Okay, he's dead. So it didn't maybe matter. So there's our 20 points, as I said, and we'll just wait for that to die off. We'll call our drones in. We'll grab our loot. Sweet. So there you go. So we got for damage. We have 46% on the Webifier. We had 94 on our Microwarpdrive. That's crazy. That's actually the furthest I've got it. I almost lost it, which would have been interesting to see what would happen. I would have had to switch to longer range ammo, I guess. And as soon as he got out of 16, which wouldn't have taken too long, we would have lost web. So I'm glad it didn't burn out. Yeah, we got no skins. That's okay. So we got a large stand-up module. I'll hide my ammo here. And one of these, a Tech 2 one, that's good. So this is the shield bonus one, I believe, or the armor bonus, tank bonus. I have 6 more of these now, so I just got 1 here. I've gotten 5 earlier, and I have like 11 back home. And this Tempest skin I got earlier today. Yeah, they made me some wrecks. We're going to loot those as well. We'll pulse the Microwarpdrive to make the travel a little less less painless. Painful. We'll see what we get, and then we'll call it there for the video. But that's pretty fun. Having a lot of fun doing these sites. I like the initial trying to catch the guy and failing. You have to accommodate. It's a really nice site. It's actually teaching some mechanics, which I think is important. A lot of PvE doesn't do a lot to help people learn how to actually play the game outside of PvE. So, tackling. You don't ever have to tackle anything. I'm wondering if a scram in a web might work. I might try that. Maybe he's traveling under Microwarpdrive and we can shut it off with a scram. That's actually something I think I might try now that I just thought of it. Can I actually get on this loot so I can loot it? That'd be great. But yes, I might try that. I might swap out one of these webs for a scram and just see what happens. If that works, you might be able to do something with a Mortis Angel ship, why can I never remember the name? The Orthrus. Might be something we can do too, but we'll see. We'll see if the scram works before I spend any more money on ships for this. I do have a Vigilant. A lot of people are swearing by the Vigilant with its scram bonus. So instead of a scram range, it does a scram effectiveness bonus. So it slows them down even further. So that might be a way to get them to drop down slow enough that we can keep up to them without pulsing the Microwarpdrive, which would be helpful. The only difference is you only have the standard 10-kilometer range unless you buy more expensive webs, so you'll definitely have to overheat to catch them. But that is I see a lot of people doing those. They're swearing by them, so that is also another way. And if I do come up with a fit that works, or someone sends me one that works, I'll record a video on that as well. I imagine it does a lot more damage, but you don't have the benefits of the newts either, so there is that. So we're getting a lot of this stuff. I don't even actually know what these for. I think they're industry things. I'd have to imagine. It doesn't say it's for industry, so who knows? They might just be throwaways. Vendor trash. Yeah, it looks like vendor trash. Stuff you sell to NPCs. So we'll loot the last one. But this is how I've been running the sites. It's that simple. I get 3 to 4 kills a site, which is fine. I don't have to wipe out too many drones, which gets me these quite quickly. So you can see I've already almost got the first level today. I've done 2 sites. One before just to warm up. And this one. And then Bountiful Prey. The cruiser does drop 250,000 ISK bounties. So just killing the cruisers gets you those pretty quick. Did I grab it? No. Stupid Microwarpdrive. But yeah, I tried to do a dual prop, but I needed the second web. I just needed it. He goes way too fast. I think 60% from 18. It brings him down to 800 still. Or 600. It's still too fast. And you don't want him getting that far anyway. The dual web works quite well. And yeah, just more vendor trash and more stand-ups. Okay, no skins. Oh well, I'm going to keep digging through it, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it helps figure out the site. As I said, the nice thing is if you can't afford a ship like this and we can't find a T1 ship that works, that's going to be pretty hard. You can get the bounty credit by running standard anomalies, missions, belt ratting, whatever it takes. Here, level 4 missions work really well because you can sometimes get 34 million at a time in bounties. So there's lots you can do to also benefit from this. But if you can afford it and you have the skills for it, definitely try this out. It's been a fun little ship to fly. As I said, I've always wanted a reason to have one in PvE. I've flown them in PvP before. They're a lot of fun. So there we go. If you did enjoy the video and it helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know you liked it. If you want to shoot me a Vigilant fit or have some questions or some other tips, let me know down in the comments down below. And if you're new and you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting me. I appreciate you all. I'll see you all next time. Take care. I'm out of here.